I've got the looks and the charm of an old movie star. Cary Grant, if you will, so I find it bizarre that this girl should refuse to step into my car. She must be shy, she'll come around, it's just a matter of time. Aurora, Aurora.
Hey there, Screen Beans, and welcome to Screen Snark, the podcast that celebrates all of the shows that are in our eyes, on our minds, and in our hearts. I am Rachel Quirky Shank.
And I am Matt, a.k.a. Stormageddon. Yeah.
Did you hear me? Did you hear me almost call it a show and not a podcast?
I did. You'll get
a show
it.
about shows.
You'll get it.
One day. It's never going
Like
to
30
happen.
episodes from now, you'll get it.
Rob, if you want to write us a better intro,
Please.
feel free. You're our lorist, and I would trust
Rob
you with...
Strobin, the lorest of all
with-
good things in the internet.
Yes.
Um,
Any of you, just write me a better intro. I need help.
I am very excited about this episode and our guest. Our guest is one of my
so
internet
excited, too.
heroes. She is an incredible musician, a brilliant burlesque performer, though she does that a little less these days, and just the snarkiest, most badass human on the internet. Please welcome to the show, Kate Nix.
It me.
It you.
I'm here.
You are here.
Award-winning polymath of stage and stream, Kate Nix.
Yes, with the famousest cat in Philadelphia.
I know. The woman who works at our Rite Aid was like, I saw you on the news. Your cat plays piano. She says it to me every time I go in now. And I go into Rite Aid like once a week. So at least I have something to talk about now.
Right,
It's not just
exactly.
like, hi, yeah, we're living in a global pandemic. Everything's awful. Oh, everything's awful with you too? Yep, we're all just barely managing. Have a great day.
Haha. Thank goodness for little four-legged serotonin machines, you know?
Pretty much, yeah. But this isn't a podcast about four-legged serotonin machines, although it could be very easily. We've already slipped into it in the pre-show. It is a show about screens and snark and the stuff that we watch. We are going to talk with Kate a little bit later about her music
Good
and
intro.
her internet presence, her streaming, and all of her awesomeness. But for now, we're going to talk about what we watched most recently. And my plan was to watch a movie I'd been wanting to watch for a while, but seeing as how life is hell, and that didn't happen, and I was busy. Instead, this past Saturday was my incredible spouse Sarah's birthday. And for her birthday, in the evening, we watched something that she'd been wanting to watch for a while, which was, and what I'm talking about today, The West Wing special on HBO. They did a special to promote voting.
President Bartlett back at it again.
Thank God.
And so what they did is they rented a theater. There was no audience. It was just cast and crew. And they recreated, what's the name of the episode? Hartsford County, I think. It's the episode where he's waiting on the votes of this one small county while also something is happening in international waters with China. And it's the whole original cast except for one cast member, I believe, who passed away, who someone else was playing that cast member. But like all the original cast. And then they had quote unquote ad breaks between the acts to promote voting. And some of them were comical and some of them were more serious. But they were great. Like there was one where they had Lin-Manuel Miranda reading off of cards, talking about how he was always jealous of Aaron Sorkin and that Aaron Sorkin has made the best thing to affect American history. And then they broke character and talked about voting, but it was just this thing to help drive people to the polls to make sure they vote this year, which if you're listening, go vote. If you can't right now, mail in your ballot or go vote when you can go vote. But it was really good. And what's strange for me is I'm not a diehard West Wing fan. Like I know the show. It's like it has a legacy at this point. So like you can't not know it. And like I love the cast. But I don't think I've seen this episode before. But that said, I still got emotional during the emotional beats of the stage production. I got emotional when they were pushing people to vote. Like, it just was so well done. And I think even if you aren't a huge fan of The West Wing, it's definitely worth watching. And it's also, like, Martin Sheen does not look young anymore. I mean, he never looked young. He was always an older looking man, but like he definitely looks much older now, but still sharp as a tack. He's still a phenomenal actor. His wit is still intact. Like it was so well done. And it kind of makes me want to go back and watch The West Wing now, a thing that I've never watched in its entirety, but I know is supposed to be phenomenal.
I love that.
Are either of you West Wing fans?
I used to have a West Wing quote in the bio of my fanfiction.net profile.
Well,
Nice.
there it goes.
That quote it was from, I believe, Josh Lyman is the character. There is some political success. I have no memory of the episode, but the line is, "I drink from the keg of glory, Donna. Bring me the finest bagels and muffins in all the land."
Amazing.
And that, like, to me, just like resonated so truly with like 14-year-old me. I was like, yes,
Yes.
bring me the finest bagels and muffins in all the land. I also had another line about the importance of being earnest in my line about muffins, about getting butter on your cuffs. Because I guess it was also
that's what a silly play.
what a silly play indeed. But yeah, I used to be. My parents watched it, and I liked it because of the Aaron Sorkin-ness.
Yeah.
Like
Totally.
it's a very adult thing to like when you're like a middle teenager. You're like, oh yeah, like I watched The West Wing. Like I'm very like I'm so savvy.
I'm so mature. Look at me. Look at me.
Yeah, isn't it
100%.
amazing how mature we thought we were when we were in high school, when we were fucking idiots?
No, I knew I wasn't mature as
I
a
was
teen.
more mature then than I am now because I was trying so hard to be a grown up when I was
Right.
15. I was like, look at me, a tiny adult. And now I'm like, I do not care if you think I act like a child. Adulthood is fictional. It's all made up. Let's
true.
just live
Yeah.
our lives.
It's true.
Yeah, for sure. I was born with a Peter Pan complex, and it never, ever, 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 ever went away. Not ever.
It's working out fine.
I think it's fine.
I would agree.
We're surviving, right?
Look at us. Hey, look at us.
Look at us.
Hey, aw,
you
you're on a
think-
Zoom.
Not
Look
me.
at us.
All of us quoting the eternal living Paul Rudd, who will never die.
God, and he's looked the same age since the beginning of time, too.
Just
Like,
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Just unfair. The man still looks somewhere between 20 and 35, and I don't understand how.
I wonder if it's going to be like a really stark change. Like Paul Rudd just going to go like full Dorian Gray. Like all of a sudden it's just going to melt. It's just like
in the middle.
he
In
just
the
turns-
middle of his last Ant-Man movie, it happens.
It's
It's just
just-
like Raiders, and he just melts.
There's like a really horrific stunt accident where like his stunt double almost gets paralyzed or something like that, and it just ages him 40 years in a second. It's like it could have been me, man.
You heard it here first. Paul Rudd does blood magic to stay young.
But yeah, I mean, I think what was really interesting about watching the West Wing special, not having a lot of experience with the show firsthand, but knowing the characters and knowing the show on the broad, is that they chose, at least to my knowledge, they chose an episode that really allows you to get to know the characters, but also it's got an insane cast of human beings like Allison Janney and Dooley Hill and freaking
God,
Martin
Allison
Sheen.
Janney. Allison Janney. Just
It's amazing.
exactly.
Yeah.
Just incredible. I mean, have you seen or heard her ever?
Yeah,
Like,
right? She's
it's
just the
just-
best always.
And that character is so just like rock solid, perfect casting of her too. Like she is allowed to be maximum Janney in her role on West Wing. Like she's snarky, she's powerful, she's not taking anybody's shit, but she's still like a vulnerable person. Perfect.
Yeah, getting to go maximum yourself on any project is probably my favorite thing. I believe Allison Janney also plays Scrooge's adversary in the newest incarnation of DuckTales. And she is phenomenal in that as well. Uh-huh.
She does.
Like,
yes, she's
I can't remember the character's name.
oh, Goldie.
Goldie. Yeah.
Goldie.
So-
yeah.
so I think this was in the comics and-
Sometimes.
They're like on again, off
On
again,
and-
like
ugh.
romance, and like she
Jeez.
outwits him, and she's also obsessed with money, and it's just brilliant. And also, like, I love the new DuckTales, and at some point we will do a DuckTales special on this show because it's just
Yes.
brilliant. But thanks
It's
to
so
the
good.
incredible work of David Tennant, DuckTales is so much more horny now in a way that it wasn't before. Like Scrooge.
DuckTales, more like fucktails.
Oh, more like getting tail.
But DuckTales aside, yeah, I think what resonated with the special, besides obviously being in line with them on how important it is that you need to vote this year, You need to vote every year, but especially this year.
In all your elections, all of them.
All of them.
Every time.
Every time.
No questions.
I think knowing the emotion behind the show, knowing how much it meant to other people, and knowing how much this cast felt, like you could feel how much they were feeling in that moment to be on stage together, because they showed some behind the scenes stuff when they cut away, because again, it was essentially a stage production. Like they're laughing and like, you know, spending time. Like this is a cast that cared about each other, and for them to reunite for this and take that time to promote a very important thing that we're all thinking about, and also recreate a show that people love, like you could feel the care in it. And so if you have HBO Max, I really highly recommend watching this, even if you're not a diehard West Wing fan. I think it still resonates because, again, like I love my spouse Sarah with my whole heart, but she will cry at the drop of a hat of anything that like hits you in the heart muscle, and that's great. I love that about her. Like, but this one had me like I was walking away, and as I got up, I sniffled, and she went, "Are you crying?" I went, "Shut up, fine." Even though I openly weep at the movies all the time, back when we had movies to go to.
Yeah, it's great to cry.
Yeah.
Everyone should cry more.
Yeah.
Just do it. Just haul off and cry sometimes. It's fantastic.
It is definitely a necessity.
I'm a big advocate for just crying.
But yeah,
Do it.
I really enjoyed the special. I think that you should definitely go check it out. I don't know that there's much else to say about it because like the plot of the episode is interesting, but also it's out of context from the rest of the series. It's more about being in that moment. It's about voting and about voters and trying to sway voters. And so like and about why voters matter. And so I think that alone makes it worth watching beyond all the other bigger geopolitical stuff that happens. So, yeah, I think everyone should definitely go check it out.
I like it. So, Matt,
Yes.
if you had to describe this West Wing stage production of an episode about voting, and you can't use the West Wing to describe it, what 3 words would you select to sum it up, wrap it with a bow, and give it to our audience to carry with them?
Go fucking vote.
Go fucking vote. And you know what, Case? You can put periods between that one because it's important to really
Emphasis on the correct syllable.
yeah. The only time I'll allow it, Case. Only time.
It's not like he
Never
listens
again.
to you anyway.
No, he doesn't. But that's our beef. He's my Scrooge McDuck to my Goldie. You know.
Wow. All right.
We're ever at odds,
All right.
but also really, really into podcasts.
All right.
Jeez.
Enough of that. Moving on. Rachel, what nonsense did you bring us? Because 90% of the time you bring nonsense and I'm here for it. So what do you got this time?
Brought the best kind of nonsense ever. And I think it's funny we're talking about HBO Max because this is me talking about this show and pleading to HBO Max to take it and bring it and make more of it. I'm talking about the one, the only Venture Bros.
Oh, nice. Excellent.
I finally, after long last, completed the entirety of what is available for the Venture Brothers. It has been one of my favorite animated shows since it premiered. And the only reason it really fell off for me was when I left cable behind. It was a hard show to come to, you know, because it was always on late night cable. But it is one of my favorite shows that comment on nostalgia and you know, the sort of like the generational trauma of like having to grow up too fast, you know, and it gets exponentially better after it is allowed to sort of shed like we're doing a funny send up of Johnny Quest. For those of you who don't know what the Venture Brothers is, which I doubt is none of you because you're listening to podcasts, it is the story of a Johnny Quest stand-in as an adult with his own children and sort of like dealing with a legacy of being the son of a super scientist and trying to live up to that, but also kind of being a terrible person and a terrible father because the sheer amount of bad things that happened as a young person to this man, it's brilliant. It's utterly incredible. I will say, though, full disclosure, and I feel like I say this every time I bring up this show because I think it's really important. The writing does lean on a slur quite a bit. Definitely a lot of times they drop the R slur to describe things, and also the characters will call each other this slur. So be prepared, but if you can get beyond that, I think that it is a very interesting choice that is being made, because like, these aren't good people. They would say this word. They would say it a lot because they're horrible humans. They're really bad. They're all participating in this system where the fighting has to continue for a history that's completely made up, you know? It's beautiful to see that the bad guys are literal bureaucrats tied up in their own red tape, having all of these like weird meetings where the fight isn't real. You know, the fight between good and evil's just made up. It's just this big like Judy and Punch play of ridiculousness. I think there's a lot to say in this piece about masculinity and about global relations and about fighting just because you want to fight for fighting's sake, because our dads fought and because our grandfathers fought. We have to keep fighting. Right. And it unfolds in one of the most brilliant ways that I've ever seen. I loved it. I think it's great. I would change very little about the Venture Brothers, and I do hope it finds a second life somewhere else, because that last episode that ever happened left a lot in the air. What do we do?
Yeah, I watched it in the early years. I think I saw the first 5 seasons, and I loved it. I mean, also, any show that gives, what's his name, who plays Brock? I'm blanking on his name. Patrick Warburton.
Patrick Warburton.
Anyone who gives Patrick Warburton free reign to just be a crazy person is like, I just love to watch him be ridiculous, or listen to him be ridiculous.
Don't worry, everyone. Patrick Warburton has seen me mostly naked, because back in my burlesque days, I did a Brock Sampson fan dance that was 2 fans, a set of pasties, some tube socks, and a mullet. That's it.
That's burlesque.
That's it. That's it to a T.
Burlesque is dressing as a 10-year-old boy and doing a fake ice skating routine with 3 of your best friends. That's burlesque.
That's burlesque.
That's burlesque. But how many seasons did it end up having, Venture Brothers?
I believe they have 7 seasons. Okay.
Yeah, I've always wanted to go back and watch it. I think the last thing I watched was when they brought in like the faux Fantastic Four characters that were like spoofing Reed Richards and stuff.
That's so early. Yeah. That grows and develops and changes. I love shows that have a really like tight status quo that they just mess with. Yeah. You know, they're just like, no, like this doesn't perpetuate itself. This isn't the Brady Bunch. Like, stuff's gonna change. You know, like there's entire seasons where Brock isn't with the family, you know, where they live in a new place, or they have to deal with different allies or different enemies, and it's so cool because you could really just rest on your laurels and be like, this is just a send up of Johnny Quest, of Marvel Comics, and of things like that, but it develops, and the characters grow and change. Like the Hank and Dean you meet at the beginning, these like naive like children who don't understand the world, grow to understand the world in one of the weirdest ways possible. You know, just like how they sort of split apart and become sort of like different adults, you know, like they're still like 19, 20 by the end of the run, but like they're different in profound ways, you know, like trying to grow out of this legacy that's been implanted in them, you know. I love it. I think I don't want to go into like too much detail and spoilers. Like I recommend the show.
Is it a show that you've seen, Kate?
I have seen probably about the same amount as you. Like I've seen probably the first 3 seasons all the way through, and then like sporadic episodes from the last couple seasons, based on like the time of year, or if someone I knew had cable or whatever. Like you, I also distanced myself from cable television, and that's also when I stopped watching Venture Brothers.
Yeah. And it also is a show that has been making seasons for 14 years. So there's been many years of hiatus and pauses. So it was a difficult show to stay caught up with.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I never knew when what I was watching was actually new, or if I had just missed it in previous seasons, and it was something that, like, the sporadic episodes I did catch, I always felt like I was either watching something that I had seen before, or like I caught consistently a deja vu with the Venture Brothers. I also think I saw like that episode with the Fantastic Four, like their first introduction, like 7 times.
Same.
Like I've seen like 1 or 2 episodes, probably like half a dozen times. But it's consistently one of those shows that you end up putting, like in our house, we end up putting on when we want to watch something, but we don't know what. So we watch Venture Brothers because we know that it's going to be good, and there's going to be some sort of commentary that even if we don't necessarily align with it, there will be something more to digest, rather than it just being like, I feel like though Archer does get into that, like, it's that same kind of like adult animation. They do try to say things sometimes, but most of the time it's just kind of like da 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 da. You're like, oh wow, I just watched 30 minutes of the first number from Chicago.
Yeah.
And you and sometimes though where I believe, like you said, like though they use slurs in the text of Venture Brothers, it's the same sort of situation where Rick and Morty kind of failed, right? Is that the problem with Rick and Morty is that the lead character is relatable, but apparently not distant enough from what would be a good person. What would be a more morally, like more obviously moral is up in the air, like what is morality, what are ethics, etc. But you're not supposed to identify with Rick as a person that you want to be like, and that is where that show mortally failed. Whereas Venture Brothers, you don't watch Venture Brothers and you're like, I want to be like Rusty Venture. Like you don't edit. Though sometimes you do feel on the same level as the characters, you never are put in a place where you admire them or look up to them, or like they're invincible. Like they're made fallible. The characters are made fallible in multiple different ways. Like Brock is, though he is very physically strong and is perceived as this macho character, you can see places where he has vulnerabilities and failings, and he's given the room to exist as a whole person. So you aren't just like, I want to be like the strongest guy, and he boinks the most chicks, and he's the most disrespectful to whoever and like you don't have that same. The characters aren't in text made beyond morals, like the same way that Rick and Morty failed. Like Venture Brothers succeeded in that they are allowed parable and they are allowed to do superhuman things without making them like a paragon within the actual actions of the text. Because the problem with obviously Rick and Morty is that they succeed always. And like when the guy is a jerk and he succeeds all the time, obviously the people who watch the show who aren't necessarily like diving into the Dan Harmon specific ethics of a person's actions, they don't necessarily get it. But Venture Brothers, on even at a surface level, like the actions of the text represent ideology that you can agree with to some extent, I guess.
Yeah, I think that these characters in Venture Brothers provide more catharsis and commiseration. While the character, especially of Rick Sanchez, is one of inspiration and like you know, like reaching for it, like something to aspire to be versus like something to feel sorry for. You know, it's not often you feel just deeply sorry for Rick Sanchez, but all of the time, like even when Rusty is at his most awful, like you kind of have to go, I get why you're doing what you're doing. Like I kind of understand
Yeah.
and feel really bad for you that like this is where you are. There's a really beautiful like post credits thing which was really difficult because modern streaming loves to skip past the credits to the next, because binging is a whole thing. But try it if you can, if you're watching it on a streaming apparatus, to like get to those buttons post credits, because there's a beautiful moment. And I think this is fine to share because, like, it doesn't really spoil any plot. And I think it really just gets to the heart of Rusty Venture. He's sitting with his son, and he's talking about his birthday when he was 16. He's like, yeah, my dad invited all of these models, all of these adults, you know, like no one my age, to this like pool party. And my dad gets on the microphone to announce me entering, and he goes, ladies and gentlemen, Rusty Venture. And Action Man pulls down my shorts, and someone points a shrink ray at my junk. And all of these adults see this like primal embarrassment of this teen, and he goes, that's my whole life. That's my whole life. Like, just one of those, like, I will always be this tiny child under the shadow of this like quote unquote great man, you know. And I'm like, Rusty's a college dropout who like is faking his way through life, and it's one of the like most incredible tragedies that I think modern animation has brought us, you know, like just this sad man who just cannot rest, who cannot let go. It's such a...
See, and it does that, but it does that. It rides the line of being, like, in that moment of, like, self-deprecation, because it's that character delivering it, because it's that voice actor voicing it. Like, it still maintains a certain level of charm, whereas something like BoJack Horseman, you watch it, and you're like, well, I guess I'm just gonna walk into the sea.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's,
Absolutely.
you know, like the most pathos with.
Whereas like Venture Brothers, you can like go eat dinner afterwards. You're not left destitute by an episode of the Venture Brothers like you are with BoJack Horseman, even though it deals with some of the same kind of like machismo ideology, like what it means to be, what means to have legacy, what it means to have like to be your best self, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. And I think...
Yeah, there is a beautiful Venn diagram between like BoJack and Rick and Morty that's sort of like...
The Venture Brothers are in
like
the middle.
That needle, like just right through it.
And it's not ugly. And it
not.
doesn't
It's not
hurt
ugly.
to look at. How much... Why is the new thing with adult animation just like, it's awful?
Yeah.
Do you want to look at a big blob for a bunch of angry blobs for 30 minutes? Yeah. Watch anything that's been made in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. I growing up watching Johnny Quest, that's what attracted me to Venture Brothers, and you see a lot. I think the gags to get in that, like the reason I think I like Brock Samson so much is because I genuinely loved Race Bannon in Johnny Quest, because you were supposed to. He was the hero. He was
He's
absolutely
a cool guy.
the hero, cool guy. So yeah, you know, and I think that Venture Brothers addresses a lot of things. You're right. Like, I'm a fan of all the things we've mentioned. Like, I still genuinely like Rick and Morty, and think that the newer seasons, Dan Harmon is trying to...
He's trying so hard. He's not backpedaling because he's going forward, but he's emotionally backpedaling on a lot of stuff. And I love Rick and Morty, and I even I watched the first season of BoJack Horseman. Now I can't. It's a lot. It's kind of like watching a puppy lose its leg. You're just kind of like, I don't want to.
Oh yeah, I'm so glad.
I
don't want to.
I watched BoJack Horseman while I was sad in LA, and it was a bad choice.
Oh,
so
no.
I haven't returned yet. I haven't returned.
No, no, thank you. But I too I do also like these other things because of how they deal with the reality of 2020s, 2010s adulthood, like what it means to be an adult now, because obviously the pillars of adulthood were shown to us, to all of us, are not necessarily things that will be accomplished within our current situation. Like the unfortunately, we turned to cartoons to be like, how do grown up?
Right.
Like,
How to-
what it
yeah.
like
Yeah.
not because I know I'm doing it because I'm 30 and I like I have a business and I like haven't accidentally not drinking enough water and like passed out on the street or whatever. But like, is that okay?
Yeah.
And Venture Brothers is like, oh, it's fine, honey.
You're
Just
fine.
Yeah.
You're fine.
listen. Are you going to therapy? You're gonna be okay.
It's gonna be all right. Yeah, and it's also one of these interesting things to engage with, because like I think that there's a lot to be said about the complicated relationships that adults have with their parents, you know, like even under like the best circumstances, you know, like it can still be odd and strange, you know, like oh, your
Absolutely.
mother was such a saint, you know, oh, your father was this and that and this, you know, and you like
It's
Kind
just
of-
you're just the emoji where the teeth are just a big bar. It's
Yeah.
just that you're just this like constant perplexed grimace where you're like, to get into this would be complex, so I'm not gonna say anything. But what you're saying to me, though you mean it in a kind way, is very painful.
Yeah, pretty much.
yeah, I feel like our parents were the first moment where we compared ourselves to someone
Yeah,
else.
absolutely.
You know, like no matter what.
Yep.
Like
Totally. Yeah, I find myself more in my peers than I do the adults higher than me, just because. And when I say peers, I also mean people younger than me, because at this in our lifetime, in this current age, like the number of your age matters less. It's the relationship of mentality, I think, that matters more. Like I consider you both my peers, but I'm older than both of you. But that doesn't matter because we're both.
yeah, but not by much.
Well.
We're all grandparents in this suit.
That's
Yeah, we're
true.
all elderly.
We're all elderly.
Honestly, like, hasn't everybody aged like 25 years just from the last like 18 months?
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
and we
Yeah.
can't even blame the pandemic because it was already happening. Like,
Yeah. It
was already
time
bad.
time was melting. Like, there was just no. We're all just sort of like simultaneously we're in stasis pods, but those stasis pods are in a giant spaceship traveling at like 1,000 light years per second.
Yeah.
Like we're just like here frozen in time whilst
Oh, did we hear plunk?
more
On
songs
air.
are being played.
More played
Good.
by the famous
More songs are
Winslow the
being
Cat.
played.
Famous Winslow the Cat. Well, I'm going to take this opportunity, Rachel, to ask you
Okay.
the big question. A show like Venture Brothers,
Fuck. Okay.
can you describe it for our listeners in 3 words without using the words venture or brothers? If you want to use
Yeah.
adventure, I'll allow it, but
Okay,
venture
thank you.
itself off the table.
Complicated.
You have a
Backing
soundtrack.
track. I know. I'm so excited about it. Complicated cartoon catharsis.
Nice. Love that. Love that. Also like you.
Sometimes.
We stand alliteration in this house.
We do.
Thank you.
We
The
do.
moment I
this
said
house.
catharsis earlier, I was like, I'm gonna put catharsis in this because it really is. It's a cathartic cartoon where you're just like, oh God, y'all gotta work out some stuff.
I do appreciate the drama of your words being punctuated by the plunks of Good Winslow out in Philly.
Yes.
Which has to stay in
Thank you,
now
Winslow.
because we've
Of course.
referenced it. It's just it's in the episode.
I never. Hey, as the editor of this podcast, I never cut out a good 4-legged friend.
That's fair.
Any animal companion, any familiar that anyone has, if they deem to make a presence in this show, I will not remove them.
I appreciate that about you.
For they are a gift. They are our treasures.
They are.
They are the future,
Oh God.
probably.
All right, Kate Nix, our incredible guest. What program, movie, TV show, documentary have you brought us today to discuss? What is the most recent thing you have watched?
I'm so excited.
With this statement, I also make a confession.
Okay.
I'm so excited. I love it.
I watched Beetlejuice for the first time.
Ooh, I love when people talk about things that I have great nostalgia for.
Same.
For the first time.
I also watched Hocus Pocus for the first time this year
Oh my God.
because somehow I have managed to be a little goth child and never experienced these things. I don't know
That's such
what
a
happened.
you movie. Like that's
I
such
know.
a you movie. I don't
I understand. 100%. The amount of times I've been compared to Beetlejuice, to things in Hocus Pocus. Listen, I am consistently, thank you, my son.
Yeah,
I am
yeah.
consistently and constantly, and it's not like I haven't been aware of these,
Right.
of these things. Like I know I've seen scenes from. But I've seen scenes from Beetlejuice. I am aware of the basic plot, or I thought I was aware. Apparently, I was not aware at all of the basic plot.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh, I gotta know. What did you think Beetlejuice was like? What did you think the plot was before you watched Beetlejuice?
Good question, because it wasn't that.
Amazing.
Good fucking question, because it wasn't what happened at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah. Did you watch the animated Beetlejuice show at all?
I am aware of the animated Beetlejuice
Okay,
show,
cool.
but
Because like that, if you did watch that, it's like that's a vastly different
Yeah.
entity from the movie
No,
in a
I'm-
lot of ways.
I mean, obviously, I've seen scenes from it. Again, thank you, my boy.
Yeah. I love this.
He's been extremely creative lately. It's been getting progressively more rambunctious. We are now at the 6:30 a.m. concerts point in the piano playing.
Just
He
wants
hadn't
to
really
entertain you.
dared. He hadn't really
No.
dared to get that far before. Like, he was pretty respectful of like when we were sleeping, but now his power has grown too strong. I fear we may have to put a blanket of some sort over the piano at nighttime to deter him. That's what we've had to do with like other furniture, so we didn't scratch it right by our heads like at 6 a.m. to wake us up. There's no way in hell I'm getting up at 6 a.m. We might have to buy an auto feeder. We'll see what happens. But it's been getting more insane, progressively more insane, much like the plot of this movie.
Yeah. Good.
Bringing it
Ooh, bringing it back.
Back around.
It's like you're a professional or something.
At what? No one can tell.
No one knows.
But whatever it is,
No one-
I hope they're paying you well for it.
A professional. That's what my business card says.
says
It
Kate
just
Nix,
says Kate Nix, a professional.
Professional.
Oh man, can we all have cards that just say our name and a professional?
100%.
Yes.
It's just the best. I want
Done.
It has to be in like the font has to be in like some serious like a 2007 poster for Evanescence, like
Yes.
that sort of like fairy tale decrepit.
See,
like
I was going full like beautiful watered mark, like Patrick Bateman,
See,
American Psycho kind of business.
that's what it
card.
looks like, but the font is the shitty goth font.
Yes.
It's all the quality of the Patrick Bateman business card. The shitty goth font is in raised, glossy black text on like a linen card. It's like so quality, but it's just the worst, most just grungy bullshit fairy tale font. Professional. So everyone who-
definitely like wingdings on the side, you know.
Oh. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
because my name is only 7 characters long. There's gonna need to be something.
to fill
Gotta
the
fill that
space.
space.
sides to fill
you
up the
can't
space.
too much negative space on a business card. No, thank you.
It's got to be busy.
We don't.
Yeah,
No,
it's a
absolutely not.
busyness card.
Exactly. But yeah, I don't know what I thought the plot of this movie was. It was not this. I didn't realize that the main couple died during the film. I thought that they started the film already dead. I thought it was more like a the others situation.
Okay.
Okay.
I thought that for the child bride aspect being such a huge part of the popular culture effect of Beetlejuice, like the imagery being so popular, I assumed that had a larger part.
Right.
And it felt kind of just like shoehorned in.
Yep.
Like it was purposeless because he could do whatever he wanted anyway. Like I didn't understand what the limits of the character of Beetlejuice were because it didn't seem like he had any. And then he was like, but I can't be in here. But I didn't understand why he couldn't because he basically could whenever he wanted. Like, couldn't
Yep.
he just technically say his own name? Because clearly his name had power. There was a lot of...
These are all valid questions.
Yeah.
This is I watching it as an adult, just understanding the cultural effect of it was, I think, a very unique perspective to watch Beetlejuice with, especially having been compared to this character visually so
Sure.
much because I have green hair and I'm a goth person and I wear a lot of black and white stripes because I have always worn black and white stripes.
Yep.
I got on that Amanda Palmer train when I was 14 and I never got off.
Obviously.
But I mean, I'm still kind of offended when people refer to me as Beetlejuice. People are like, "Oh, I'm getting Beetlejuice vibes off of this," and I'm like, there is not a compliment in that.
No.
There is no way for me
no.
to take that positively.
Yeah.
Well, it goes
Hi.
back-
You're giving me
Pedophilic,
pedophile
demon, dirtbag vibes.
con artist vibes.
It goes back to the Rick Sanchez thing. Certain
Yeah.
people, let's safely
Boom.
say certain white men, think
Okay,
that
yeah, for
folks
sure.
like Rick Sanchez and Beetlejuice, because they're free to do what they want, are badasses. I think that's...
I'm the Joker, baby.
I mean, yeah, I think that's where the compliment comes from. I'm not agreeing with the compliment,
Yeah.
but I'm saying I think that's where the
Listen.
mentality is coming from.
If we're gonna talk about backhanded compliments, I have certainly gotten. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
we've talked about this
Yeah.
before. Just the my favorite. How are you not more famous? I love when people say that to me
Ugh, I
because
hate
I'm just
that.
like, that's a good fucking
Question. Yeah.
I'm wondering myself
We wonder
because
all the time.
you can tell that I'm doing the work and I can tell that I'm doing the work and neither of us have any idea why you met me in this dingy bar.
Yeah. Ugh. My question is, having seen Beetlejuice now, so like up front, the audience knows, but in case you don't, Kate, I'm a Beetlejuice stan. I used to play with a young friend of mine as a kid, Beetlejuice. Like she'd be Lydia and I'd be Beetlejuice, and we'd get into
Nice.
adventures. And like I watched the cartoon, loved the movie, loved the incredible musical. So I'm curious. So I'm
The
just
music from that is great.
Oh my God.
The bits I've heard from I am
Alex Brightman
painfully-
is a genius. He's just brilliant.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm on the Broadway train, but I'm on the extremely late Broadway train. Like I didn't listen to Hamilton until it came out on Disney Plus.
Okay.
Like I didn't listen to
Yeah.
the thing the whole way through, even though I was in a musical theater and I consider myself to be a musical theater person.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm gonna listen to Beetlejuice in like maybe 4 years.
That's fine.
Yeah,
You'll get
I
to it.
feel that way too. I've listened to the first couple tracks of that, and I'm like, this is really good. But then it's also like, I want to listen to lo-fi though. I'm sorry.
Yeah, like I'm good. I don't want to
I'm
watch
good,
this
thanks.
2006 fan cam of half
Yeah.
of it that I have to search for the other half
Yeah.
of using these bizarre keywords. Like I'm just
Yeah.
not. I'm not there. But I
Yeah,
do.
full. Oh god.
I've watched a lot of segments about the production itself of the unique way that props, sets, and video displays are used in Beetlejuice. And I think that stuff
Brilliant.
is so fucking cool. The use of light and projection. I am obsessed with. Did someone that
Do you echo?
No, it wasn't an echo. It was like a weird.
Like a speech jam. Like you came through twice.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's all right. No
Weird.
worries.
It's okay.
My computer made a weird beep, like it was malfunctioning, but then nothing happened. So
You're
we're
still
fine.
here, so
But yeah, I think the production of that musical is remarkable, and I want to see it. Even if I didn't think the music was catchy and I didn't like the aesthetic, I would still want to see it just based on the practical effects used during the production because I am obsessed with anything that heightens reality using technology in a way that doesn't take away from practical stage stuff.
it's brilliant. Friend of the pod, Abe Goldfarb, who is in the show, he came on my other podcast. I also, when I went to see it, he took me and my spouse backstage, and like I got to see the giant mechanical practical sandworm they use in the show. And it's just like I was like a kid in a candy store. I was literally going,
Yeah.
"Ee." Like it's incredible. I wish more
That
people could have gotten to see it.
Yeah.
When we bring Abe on the show, I'm gonna have him give us all the deets.
Yeah, for sure.
The Lydia deets.
Those Lydia deets.
But,
what a perfect moment.
When I was talking about all the Beetlejuice stuff I love, obviously I have nostalgia goggles for it. No matter what, I'm always going to love this movie and the property. I'm curious, as someone having seen it for the first time, did you enjoy the movie? Did you think it was good? Did you laugh? Did you have fun with it? Or did it hit differently because you hadn't seen it ever before?
I I definitely, because the way that I watch movies with my husband mostly is that we watch while we work on things. Like we were
Sure.
watching while we're working in the sewing room that you see behind me, the one of two rooms in my apartment. So we enjoy a lot of our media while working. And because of that, we tend to like pause and talk about stuff and then play the movie and then pause and talk about stuff.
Yeah.
Either related to the movie or related to our work. And because of that, I was able to kind of like watch it in chunks and digest it more as like, I don't know, for the aspects coming together of what was happening versus just like watching 90 minutes of it straight and not necessarily absorbing certain things because I just watched it all at once. And it was definitely enjoyable. There were moments of it where it was strange because like it had a lot of like Tim Burton, obviously it has Tim Burton stank all over it, right?
Yes.
Yes, it's very Burton stanky.
But it's before Tim Burton stank included this like hyperbolic Johnny Depp acting thing that everyone does now. Like there's like that Helena Bonham Carter and Johnny Depp are in a Tim Burton movie together, so we're gonna act like we're English stage actors from 1985 for no reason. Like everybody, they're acting to the back row because they're just in a green void. Like there's no concept of any there. I guess it was drier than I expected a little bit. Like it wasn't as, I don't know. And also Alec Baldwin. Like just processing him as Alec Baldwin from now, watching Alec Baldwin was its own experience. Was just like watching young Alec Baldwin's face move and talk was kind of like a fever dream.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Totally.
Because you're like, wow, it's before you came out of your chrysalis. Like you were still you were a young man then. You could be things that weren't just Alec Baldwin. Like there's like now Alec Baldwin when he's cast, he's Alec Baldwin. He's Jack from 30 Rock. Like he just is that character for everything now.
Yeah, it's weird to see him as sort of like this kind of young, sentimental,
Naive,
romantic kind of lead,
dedicated,
you know?
like very, very emotive, very wholesome and kind. Yeah. That was bizarre. Watching him act opposite Gina Davis, perhaps looking the most gorgeous, just angelic. Like, she is so beautiful. She's like almost hard to look at.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
It was an experience. I don't know how to describe it. I felt like the same way I felt watching Hocus Pocus earlier this year, where I was just like, everyone's been talking about this movie to me for perhaps 20 plus years, and here I am watching it. And some of it's really great, and some of it's this weird focus on things that I didn't expect due to the time period it was made in. Like things that we focused on in 90s and 80s film that we don't necessarily focus the same way on. I loved all the creature design. I love, obviously, all the set pieces were incredible. Like, the look of the film is inspirational to many, and it's obvious why. Winona Ryder is hilarious. I myself am strange and unusual was just like the ultimate, like, God, I remember that being across every Zanga header,
everything.
every live journal, every blingy that you put on your MySpace. I myself am strange and unusual. Like, what a line. I remember being her. It was, there was one line that I couldn't get past, that I had to pause the movie and absolutely like stop the whole thing to discuss with my husband, which is there's this offhanded line at the dinner party where they're discussing like they just got superpowered. They just got the couple tried their best to spook them, right? And they're like, yay, excited about it. And there's a young lady that says, she's smoking a cigarette, and she says, the Inquirer's offering $50,000 to anyone who can prove life after death. And I'm like, wait, I'm sorry?
What?
That was like the crux of the plot, was like That's what this ghost movie's about? What do you mean the Inquirer is offering $50,000 to prove life? To who? When? For what? Why the Inquirer? Who decide? I'm sorry?
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
I mean, okay. And then it's just, they just move on. And
They
then
do.
they just, here we go.
Yep, pretty
Now
much.
it's Ghost
Beetlejuice.
It's Beetlejuice time. And here, yep, that's the goal. Now the goal of these rich people is to prove ghosts are real. And then a man looks directly at the fucking camera and says, Charles, we're here to see some ghosts. And I don't understand how I haven't heard about that guy before. First of all, like, how is that 5-second clip not underneath every paranormal tweet I've ever seen? Like,
Yeah.
there's just a lot of little stuff that I was able to glean from this movie that I did not expect it to be there. And I don't know, man. What is that movie about? What's the moral compass of Beetlejuice?
No clue.
If there is one, yeah, I didn't understand where the child bride thing necessarily needed to be there. That was like my big takeaway was like,
Yep.
Yeah,
like,
no.
do we really need to marry off 13-year-old Winona Ryder? Like, is that necessary?
Nope.
to the goddamn Batman. Do we need to do this right now?
is this required to the suicide being civil servants in afterlife is such a
That's a fraught concept.
it is. It's really
fraught.
that is so
Yep. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just why who again, what is the moral compass of the Beetlejuice?
Yeah. I mean, I will say this about the musical is that the musical straightens out the narrative line a bit and adds some things to it for the young bride marrying is still in it, but like it's how he gets his freedom. He's trapped there. Like
It's contextualized throughout
Yeah.
the story instead of shoved into a 10-minute segment right at
Correct.
the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Like there were just
It's
if it wasn't in a section that you could have just taken out and the movie would still have worked, it would have been fine. But it just seemed like all of a sudden there's the child bride plot, and also, is it supposed to make the family learn something? Like, is it like we could lose contact with our precious daughter, we're out of touch rich people, and like this is our come to Jesus moment about respecting our kid and her needs?
I think that from what I remember, the narrative pull is when they're exercising the young couple, it's killing them and destroying them.
Yeah, and
I
then she
think-
goes and she's like, yeah, I'll marry you, whatever.
Yeah.
But
Why
and that's when-
Beetlejuice wants it is unclear. Why
Yeah.
Lydia
Yes.
wants it is clear to
Yes.
save them.
Yeah.
But
Her
they
narrative
never
is-
give a reason for Beetlejuice to want it. No.
No, he's just like, by the way, if you marry me, heads up, you get to
Yeah.
be in this dope outfit for 35 seconds during a segment that probably took 8.5 years to film.
yeah.
Yep.
And obviously, like, everything about how it looked was great. And watching the
fashion,
house turn into the fashion was great. Catherine O'Hara, fucking step on me. Like, Jesus Christ. Everything about her is perfect. Apparently, that character was supposed to be played by Angelica Houston originally. And she got
Really?
super sick. And then Catherine O'Hara took her place. Which,
Catherine O'Hara.
honestly, I mean, it's hard to say that Angelica Houston would be miscast for anything because obviously she can do whatever she wants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think she's like, she's not precocious in any way.
Yeah, I was gonna say she kind of doesn't have that goofy quality
Yeah.
that O'Hara brings to this character. Sort of like this, like kind of nefarious buffoonery.
Yeah, this like really camp, like truly camp experience. Like her whole deal is the send up of art, right? I think
Yeah.
Angelica Houston playing that character would have made it too real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if like she is like fully a Marina Abramovich vibes, like I am 100% like if Angelique Houston was like, I'm a sculptor, I'm like, you need to make your work. Like this man should give you your space, Miss Houston. I'm so sorry. Like,
yeah, I'm sorry, Ghost. You've got to go
Yeah.
because we got to make this house look crazy.
yeah, it's about to get wild. And also then the house was reverted back to normal, quote unquote, at the end. And
Yeah.
was that by the like but they still needed paint, but also they're ghosts that can make things look like whatever they want and make stuff move, but they still need her to go to the store to get paint to fix up the house. So did they have to, after Beetlejuice turned it into a hellscape, into a literal blue and green hellscape, did they have to manually put the house? What are the? At what point is it real? Like, what is the?
This is our new podcast segment.
Yeah,
Our new
it's
podcast
beautiful.
segment is Kate Nix watches something she missed from her childhood and tries to confusedly explain it. It's our new.
know what
Yeah. It's beautiful.
There's just so
I love
much.
it.
There's so much missing. I just don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand why it is beloved. Obviously, it's a great film. It's a huge part of American cinema and American cinema language. There's so much that other movies have taken from it and used from
Yeah.
it, and obviously, it started the like just give Tim Burton money, let him make whatever he wants
Pretty
thing.
much, yeah.
Like just give that man some money. I guess he's gonna make another Alice in Wonderland movie or whatever in hopes that it could be Beetlejuice. Like we're all just like waiting, crossing our fingers, like maybe if we give him another bajillion dollars, it's not gonna be another one of these CGI whatever the hells. It's gonna be a movie that has maybe some heart and is kind. It was a lot kinder than I was expecting. The ending
Yeah.
was a lot kinder than I expected. I kind of expected everyone to just get fucked over and die. Like I did not
Yeah.
expect there to be any kind of resolution. I didn't expect the ghosts to be able to stay. Like I didn't see that working out symbiotically, and then all of a sudden it was.
Yeah.
And I guess they didn't have to patch the floor.
guess not. Who knows?
Someone explain this. I need to know the ghost physics of Beetlejuice, and I need to know this is me going full D&D on Beetlejuice. I'm
Yeah.
like, what are the stats of the thing? Like, so when he creates
Yeah.
it, how many rounds does it last?
Right.
Like,
Yeah. Is this like time based? Like
is this permanent?
If we see it as an illusion, then does it disappear? Like,
can I put
what
my
do we
hand
do?
through it? Like, is it there or is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a lot of logistic questions about
Okay.
Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
That's kind of my
That's valid.
takeaway.
Perfectly valid.
Yeah.
It's almost like Tim Burton is very good at style, but it kind of loses it on
Nothing
the
Literally
substance
nothing
part.
else, yeah.
Nothing else.
Just the
Like,
because if you watch a lot of Burton,
Yeah.
which I have,
Yes.
because of course I have, obviously. But you do sort of find that you are swept up in the spectacle of what Burton is bringing, like this very like fanciful, like your Scissorhands, that very colorful candy
Yep.
suburb meeting.
yeah, it's
that
like a Wes
very
Anderson movie to an extent.
Yep.
Like you're just
yeah,
sort of
it's just like
you get to
you're caught
live
up
here.
in-
You get to live here
Yeah.
for 90 minutes. You get to live in this beautiful spindly Germanic world. You get to
Yeah.
hang out with these weird 1930s illustrations of ghosts.
yeah.
Fun time, everybody.
It's very much like, oh, you found a really cool like tabletop role playing game and you don't know what to do with it. Like you don't know. Like why does Winona Ryder as an old lady not want to see Edward? Like he's got scissor hands. Like he's not gonna be mad you got old. Like what are you talking about?
Right, like the whole point was that you would accept, but and it says so much about Tim Burton as a person too, that like an elderly woman is more disgusting to society than a man covered in scars with scissors for
Yeah.
hands.
Yes.
Like that is really what that says, is
Yeah.
just that like the possibility of Winona Ryder no longer being nubile and beautiful is just so terrifying and horrific.
Horrifying.
Like it is beyond, like you can never be forgiven for aging. Like
Yeah,
you are
how dare
never
you.
like I cannot. There's no possible way. And that's the thing, is like a lot of Tim Burton's work has those themes in it, and you notice it over time where you're like, okay, so it's a beautiful young woman and a monster in some way. So is
Every
the point
time.
then?
Yeah.
The point is then that I, as a beautiful young woman, should deal with whatever comes at me from my partner, no matter how terrible and awful and monstrous and archaic and bound by bizarre law and bound by bizarre logic. If I strive and am truly good, then he'll be good. Yay.
Welcome to the
Also-
Tim Burton pod.
Yeah, don't get old or have a big weird head, because then you're so bad.
So bad.
100%.
How dare you?
It's the slightest thing being like, it's still Helena Bonham Carter. Like, you can put a bunch of makeup on her and make her head giant, and she is still like classically sculpted from marble. Like,
Yep.
there's
Yes.
no like, that is what made your ex-wife hideous to you. Is just you just made her powerful. Cool.
All right.
Okay. Okay, Tim.
Okay.
Just whatever.
Okay, buddy.
Okay, Burton.
So keep an ear out for our new spin-off show where the three of us just react to Kate watching Tim Burton movies and then dissect how ridiculous Tim Burton is. But all of that said, Kate, if you had to sum up Beetlejuice in just 3 words without using the word Beetlejuice 3 times, because we don't want to cross that bridge, just in case.
Even though I do love Michael Keaton very
I
much.
do too.
Yes.
How would you describe Beetlejuice in just 3 words?
Ambling,
Yes.
Perfect.
stylized, misogyny.
Yeah,
there it
go.
is.
There it is.
Ding ding.
We
ding
have
ding.
a winner.
Hey, to quote the band We Are the Union, all your heroes are giant piles of trash.
Sure.
True dad.
There you go.
Well, not all my heroes, because one of my heroes is the incredible Kate Nix, who is our guest today. Don't
Fart noise.
me. No fart noises. Kate, I'm so happy to have you on, and it has become my personal mission in life to make sure that people check out your stuff, because you do such awesome stuff, and we have supported each other on the internet for so long and had such a great give and take when we both were like, well, I guess we're doing stuff on the internet now. How does this work? But I've loved what your Lullaby Lounge has become. For those who don't know what the Lullaby Lounge is, it is a weekly show that runs in seasons where Kate will play music live, usually to a theme, and also chat to her incredible fan group and patrons and so on. And it's gone from being this just, I'm going to play live concerts because I don't know what the fuck to do with myself, to a scheduled, structured, and release schedule based show that I happen to have been in 2 of the promos for. I'm curious how that evolution happened. Like, what made you decide to go from just playing live when you felt like it to this scheduled, produced show that, like where did the inspiration for that come from?
Well, I started the Lullaby Lounge in general to kind of keep myself on a content schedule, because as a chronically ill lady, not only can I not go outside to do gigs even before the pandemic hit, I was also bad at being able to like spend the time to commit to edit and film a YouTube video. Like, that's
Right.
like hours and hours of a week, right? And I couldn't do that on a regular basis, but I wanted to stay in the popular consciousness of the internet and of society. So I started playing the Lullaby Lounge every week. It started on Wednesday nights at 9, and then it got earlier to 8, and then it switched to Tuesday because various other internet shows were impeding on it, and I felt it made more sense to move it around based on the watch patterns of, or like the viewership patterns of my viewers. There was like other wrestling stuff or other musicians playing live stream concerts during my show, so I had to move it around. And as I was like moving around and changing it, and the pandemic hit, and then I had to, for various reasons, switch platforms, and I had to go through changes for whatever reason, right? I had to make changes based on the style of show I was doing, because I was moving from Instagram Live and Periscope and Facebook into Twitch, which is a very unique, specific platform. It was different. And I was, as the pandemic hit, I felt like it was like my call to action, and I was going to do all the live streams. And then I started streaming twice a week, and I didn't get vocal nodes, but it was pushing it. Like I started to feel it in my voice where I was like, I can't realistically do this. Like this, I don't know why I thought as a chronically ill person I could not go out to gigs, but for some reason I could dedicate 12 hours of my week to building 2 live stream shows a week. It was stupid. I was a fool. And I had to take time off anyway. So I was like, well, let's prevent this from happening. Let's just agree that I'm going to stream for 7 weeks and then I'm going to not stream for 5 weeks so that I don't run into this problem again. So I can continue to make quality work and not devalue what I was offering or able to offer because I felt the need to pump it out constantly. I don't subscribe to the idea that you should just do something because, like, there are some times when that makes sense and sometimes when you need to step back and realize what exactly it is you were doing and what I was capable of, which was I was not able to learn things in time. I was not giving performances that I was proud of. The shows were running too long because I was not able to keep myself to any kind of time limit and I didn't have enough structure, and I ended up pushing myself over a limit because I didn't have the structure that I needed. And also, I don't know if you noticed, but like every musician on planet Earth is doing a live stream show right now. Like every band from like, and how am I going to compete with the Flogging Mollies? Like the answer is I'm not going to. Right. So I have to provide something worth watching outside of my own charisma. Like I can't just be like, it's me, Kate Nix, talking for 2.5 hours while you listen to music I wrote. It's a hard sell to someone who's not a big fan of mine already. Like it's not something I would feel comfortable telling someone who had never met me or seen my work before to tune into. It's a tough sell. I myself hate watching someone talk for 2.5 hours with no structure. Like I can't tune into a Twitch stream for 4 hours or any, like I just can't. I didn't like watching my show. I thought it was awkward and unfortunate, and the amount of gaps in between things and how off topic I got, and it just wasn't good. It wasn't enjoyable for me to look back on, and I don't like making work I'm not proud of. Like I don't want to just keep making stuff because that's what you do. I want to make something that I feel comfortable inviting people to. So the move to seasons with breaks and having more structured theming and having sections of the show specifically where I talk about one topic instead of just sort of splitting my wisdom out through like a 2-hour format, what have you. It came because I wanted to make something that I felt comfortable promoting, because it's hard enough for me to like my work, let alone tell other people about it. Like this thing is, when I have I've made it, I've done I guess 2 seasons of it, though the first season was like 50 episodes long. I've produced this show, and I can say comfortably that it's a show. Like it is a stream, it's live streaming, but I treat my facility like a production studio. Like I'm not just turning a camera on and talking to it. I practice the entire week, and I have practiced for weeks beforehand, and I write out what's happening, and I practice songs with my husband, and I talk to my community about what it is they're interested in hearing me talk about or sing about or what have you. It's built. It doesn't just happen. It's built. And by building it, people have started to notice like, oh, this is not agonizing to watch. This isn't the worst thing I've ever seen. You're telling me to watch you play music, especially with it's like people that I know, like someone who you know personally who isn't famous. It's a hard sell for you to turn into their band. Yeah. Like someone that I know very personally, the closer you are to me, the less likely I am to engage in your content, because if it's bad, I don't want to have to lie to your face.
Yeah, I don't want to have to be like, oh, it's so good.
Yep.
Oh,
this
boy.
is so. It's like,
come.
Yeah, and you're like,
hey, you want to come to my improv show? No,
I don't. I don't at all.
Not at all.
I do not,
because I love you very much,
and I want to hang out with you, but I don't want to. I don't want to watch your shitty band. I don't want to I don't want to watch your 15-minute YouTube video about whatever. Like don't make me do it. So I made the Lullaby Lounge into something I could be like, I promise it's not going to be that.
Yeah.
Like when you tune into my show, you will not feel like you're watching someone who you love suffer through the experience of performing live.
Yep.
Like it's going to be charming and warm, and it's going to feel like you're with the people that are in the room with you. Like I basically brigadoon a nightclub every week out of gossamer and spider webs. I'm like, this right now, you're all on the same website at the same time. This is a nightclub. We're having an experience. We're chatting over drinks. Like we are permitting ourselves this time to experience art and wonder together as a unit. And we're not talking down to the experience of the digital format that it's in. Because I found that a lot of people are like, I know we can't get together in person. And I'm kind of like, my thing was never in person. Like, there will not be a Lullaby Lounge that you go to.
Yeah.
It's always been, it was built this way. It is specifically accessed through your phone or tablet or computer because I want there to be no barrier of entry.
Yeah.
Like, anybody can tune in. It is free. We are all there together. And without that accessibility, I don't think the space is what it is, because it couldn't exist. You can't find a venue that's queer friendly that doesn't have stairs.
Yeah.
Like there's so many people that don't get to experience entertainment, that don't have entertainment made for them personally, that don't embrace the specific type of connection we have being from computer room to computer room. Like, the person-to-person connection is very valuable. Obviously, I'm not saying like being a person is never going to have, like, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's lesser. But there's a very unique, specific, I'm talking to you from my phone to your phone and we're both alone. It's a different kind of intimacy. And my show is specifically geared towards that experience, that we are all experiencing this unique, intimate moment together.
Amazing. I love that so much. I love the bit in the middle you brought up about, like, the closer you are to someone, the less likely you are to recommend stuff or refer them to your stuff. Because, like, I will say right now, none of my closest friends, and they know who they are, and none of them are listening to this, don't listen to any of my podcasts. And honestly, at this point, I'm okay with that. But it was funny because, like, since we talked about you on my show with Bright, I'm going to talk about Bright Kelly, future guest of this show, for just a minute. When you recommended Bright Kelly to me, my first thought was like, oh my God, this is Kate's friend. What if he's not any good? And then I saw a photo of him, very handsome man, but like the guy liner, the painted nails, the like quintessential rock star dude of the internet. And I'm like, please be good, please be good. And then, of course, I listened to The Great Enough, and I listened to his other stuff and Songs from the Big Chair, and he's phenomenal. And
you already like his work. You already like his work because he produced my record, and you like that record. So, like,
excellent.
Like, he produced Sage and Silver Bullets. So, like, that's why I was like, cool. He was the person who, the reason he contacted me was because of that clown photo. Like, that clown photo that's been everywhere. Please have that be my picture for the podcast, by the way. It's this clown photo of me from 8 years ago.
I will. I'll find it. Yes.
I think that's like got some cultural cash.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's
got a story.
It's been everywhere.
I followed the story of like
it's had
that music. Oh,
there's
God.
so many. It has such a legacy that spans so many different things. It has literally been all over the world. But he found me through that photo, and he reverse Google searched it, and he contacted me after finding out I was a musician. When I was recording my album, he was like, hey, I think I can help you make your thing better. I know that we don't know each other. We've never met. I need you to trust that I'm not trying to sleep with you or trying to fuck you over. Like, he said that in the original email. Was like, I realize what this looks like. It's not that. I think we can make something really cool.
Wow.
And then I made one of the best records I've ever made with him. So
Still
like,
one of my favorites, though I love all your stuff. But I mean,
oh shucks.
you're tired of me yelling about Blood and Bone. I'll yell at Blood and Bone until I have
I'm
no
playing
voice
it
left.
this week.
I'm
playing
very
it
excited.
this week
Very
for
excited.
the Lullaby Lounge.
So
There are,
excited.
I love
it's
it.
definitely one of the most requested, and the only reason I don't do it is because one, I think it doesn't sound right with all the backing vocals.
Yeah.
I think a key part of that song is the vocal layering, and I can only sing one voice at a time.
Right.
And two, it's in drop D, and I always feel like an asshole, like retuning my guitar in the middle of a thing and then retuning it back. Like
boy.
you're never, you know what
Yeah.
what that's like.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Definitely like, oh, we're going to do banter now.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck.
By the way, I've already re-downloaded that clown photo, the infamous clown photo. So that I will submit to our art guy. So when he makes the graphic for this episode, we will use that photo.
It's
That
this
one.
lady. It's this one.
This lady. You're the one.
It's the only like obviously I have other things copyrighted because
Right.
I have like creative work that needs to be copyrighted. That's the only image that I had to like go out of my way to be like, no, this is
This
I
is
have
me.
multiple letters. I have letters from lawyers. This is mine. It's my
Yeah.
face.
And-
I promise.
And that photo wasn't when you were Kate Nix, was it?
No, it was back when I was
you were
Haley Jane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's even funnier
The
to me
forbidden
now.
name.
The forbidden name.
That's it's so the story behind that name and the switch between Haley Jane and Kate Nix is kind of depressing because the reason is because there was another Haley Jane. There is another Haley Jane, and
Yeah.
Haley Jane was a musician for a longer time than I was, and she and I were. Sort of like circumnavigating each other on the East Coast for a little while, accidentally getting emails for each other, et cetera, et cetera. And then when I made Sage and Silver Bullets, I wanted to be my own work, and I didn't want it to be mistaken for someone else. So
Right.
I changed my stage name. But because I submitted my old albums underneath the Haley Jane name,
Yeah.
they all get credited to her on all the music streaming services. So like she has to deal with this weird history that isn't hers being credited to her all the time. And I've tried to contact like iTunes and Spotify and all, and they're all basically like, we can detach it from hers, but we're not going to change it to your name because whatever dumb reason they give. But
Yeah.
it's a weird like there were no winners even though I tried my best to
Right.
to make our lives easier moving forward.
That's wild. That's crazy. I think that what you're doing on the internet is so unique, and I think that why I've wanted to have you as a guest on this. I know you hate compliments. Too bad. As she hisses at me. But I think also.
Oh, Kate's shriveling. Oh no.
She's
Oh no, she
disappearing.
is. Someone,
She's Paul Rudding. Someone quick, she's
someone, quick. Someone find the portrait and make sure it's okay.
It's the clown photo.
But
That's my Dorian Gray picture.
that is the Dorian Gray picture. Is that clown photo? Oh no.
You have to keep sharing it quickly without credit.
You're the
Clap, clap
The
if you
less
believe.
credit you give her, the longer she'll live.
But what I wanted to ask while you're on this show, since this isn't autographs and it's a different, and this is a show about media and different mediums and engaging with that media, I'm curious what you're engaging with these days in the pandemic while still trying to create and write music. Are there any shows or books or video games or movies that like have really spoken to you during this time that hadn't
Yeah.
before?
Kate, how can we Screen Snark be more like you? That's the question that Mal is asking, and I'm fine just being real about it.
What am I watching? Honestly, the majority of what I watch is behind the scenes and video essays. Like I am consistently watching Lindsay Ellis and Patrick H. Willem
Yes.
and
Yeah, friend of
obviously-
this podcast.
obviously just noticed that I got a notification from him on YouTube that we haven't watched yet because we're probably gonna watch it for dinner. We like
Nice.
he's
Ooh,
our
the
like,
second Coppola.
Yeah,
Coppola Part 2.
so
It's very
good.
good.
That's another thing is like he specifically was so inspiring to me when I was leveling up my game because it's clear what he's working with. Like
Yeah.
what he has at his hand is very obvious. Like you can tell what he's shooting on, like what he's trying to achieve, but the effect is still so there
Yeah.
that I was like, you know what? I can do whatever the hell I want. Like
Yeah.
I can genuinely just like I can just do it. Who's gonna
Yeah.
say no?
Right. Who's gonna
Who's
stop
gonna be
me?
like, who's gonna be like, that one? That's too far.
The weirdest thing that Patrick has done is his most popular thing. Like, everybody literally loves that goddamn coconut with googly eyes on it. Like when we're sort of like discussing like Infinity podcast stuff, like, well, sometimes like both Scott and I will be like, yeah, but Charles though, like,
Yeah. What's
please
up with
continue.
Him? Yeah.
What's up with that?
What's up
like,
with that?
what is happening
That's
with
I feel like
the whole
that's-
thing? Like,
That's kind of where I was with the kazoo solo thing. Like, that's one
Yes.
of the most revered segments of my show is when I do a kazoo solo, and it's so goofy, but it's just exactly what we need right now.
Yep.
Like, you got to just point out 2020 and be like, this shit is crazy, right?
Yeah.
Like, this year really went fucking buck. Like, it's just wild to be here. So,
yeah.
in context, a kazoo solo, maybe not so strange, given the everything.
Given the everything.
Given the all of it, you can pay fake internet money to make me do an Irish accent I learned because I was in the Renaissance Fair when I was a teenager. Why not?
Why not?
Why not? And that's why I
not?
honestly love streaming on Twitch. Like, I think with like doing this stuff on other platforms, it just wasn't clicking to me because people couldn't, they're not heckle, but you can't get that experience of liveness in the
Yeah.
same way. But the Twitch format with the channel points and everything, I was like, you know what? This is my time. Let's turn this gaming platform into a cabaret.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hello, do you need something?
It's Winslow guesting, making an
Hello,
appearance.
Winslow.
It's
Oh,
a silent. It's a silent appearance, though.
That's
He's
okay.
just come to look wistfully at me and then look away, just like to be like, what is happening? Look, perhaps if I, perhaps
Oh,
Papa
Winslow.
gave me none. Mother,
Mother.
Papa, Papa did not feed me. I have not been given my snack. Perhaps, nope, just a sack of ham, wandering the halls.
Before we start to wrap up, there's one thing I want to say on the record is that you have a lot of characters that you do both for the adverts for the show and during your YouTube days, which is where I started watching a lot of your stuff after I became a fan. But there's one character that I want to give its own show and I want to just interview all the time, and it is Trash Goblin.
Yes, Trash Goblin.
Trash Goblin. Because it's just... So that first makeup video you did, for those who don't know, Kate did some makeup tutorials, but then did one makeup tutorial in character as a trash goblin, putting on makeup. And I don't know why I was enamored with it. I think it's just the construction of the accent plus the look, because you're not like covering yourself in fake leaves and looking like a hag. It's a pretty and very aesthetically pleasing look, but you're talking like this.
But that's the
ridiculous,
point. But that's the whole point. The exact point is that you can. It's like the thing that burlesque taught us as a whole,
Yeah.
which is that like with the combined power of acrylic rhinestones and a dream, you can make showbiz.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah,
it's true.
can using carpet tape and a fear of your own existence and ostrich feathers that you spent far too much money on and a piece of cardboard, you can make something worth like watching.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah,
you can
you
make it it can be pretty, it can be glamorous, it can be beautiful. That whole reason that I did that accent in that scenario is because when I was a teenage beauty guru doing YouTube in the before time of like 2008, I pretended that I knew everything. Like I was like, this is the way to do stuff. This is how you put makeup on. Like I know, and this is how you put makeup on. But now as an adult, I'm like, I do not know anything. I have never known a thing in my life. Don't trust advice I give you. I am the arbiter of nothing. Like I know not a thing. Do not do what I do. It's not good for you. I don't clean my brushes. I don't use certain types of, I keep makeup long past the expiration date. You will find no illusion of cleanliness or certification here. There's nothing, you will find no knowledge. But if you would like to learn how putting a bunch of crap on your face can turn into something that people enjoy looking at, here we are together, my friend. It says it right on the package. Makeup for Trash Goblin.
Great. I love the logic
Genius.
behind it. I think that because we all are connected to burlesque to some degree or another, and I think we're all at a point in our lives, and it's really fun to see from where I'm standing at least that we've taken what we know from it and what we loved about it and have found ways to make those skills and talents useful.
Yeah.
In a way that can still benefit the things we're doing now. Like my couple of years of hosting, which I still didn't do as much as many other people, changed completely how I host all of the podcasts I'm on, you know, and I think even as performers, even if you're not doing a striptease, there's so much burlesque in your live show. I see it because I've seen you perform, and like even most recently when you twerked to
Like a prayer
like a
while
prayer.
I was playing it.
While
I
you
was
were-
like, if I stand on this stool, they're going to be able to see my ass, and I know how to do isolation, so I guess I'll try this. And then I did it, and it worked mostly. It's not great, but like for what it is,
Yeah.
it's pretty effective.
Yeah.
So that was one of those moments where it's so funny because the comments on that were like, oh, you're definitely going to get more followers now. But I definitely lost followers from that.
Oh, no.
Like, I definitely have people that, because I'm so shiny and glittery and fun, and I have puppets and I have like a lot of fantasy elements, people assume that my work is for children.
Ooh,
Nope.
yeah, that's the terrifying thing about being a sparkly individual who's like, yeah, but I want to vomit blood. What are
Yeah.
you talking about? Like
Yeah.
I want to be a mime and like pop balloons that have blood, and I want to be like I want to spend an entire show covering a stage in plastic and just blood everywhere.
Yeah.
You know,
100%.
like
and my tits will be there. Like, just,
yes.
just so
Right, of
you're
course.
aware.
That too. Obviously.
yeah.
And it's so funny to see, like, you see in the intro to my show, there's children. The people send videos of me of their children for like the segments that are like I have on my show where you see all the viewers. Everybody sends in their viewer submitted videos for the intros because I want it to look like what it is, which is a party with everyone, not just me, even though I'm the only one appearing on camera during the show. And people will send me videos of their kids because their kids will watch the show with them, even though to call my show PG-13 is, I think, putting it lightly.
Yeah.
Because I don't, there is such a frank discussion of adulthood and mental health and culture as a whole and where society is. And I think that's the thing that makes what I do unique, is that it's escapism that acknowledges reality. It's not like, oh, we're pretending that it's a fairy tale world and everything's fine. We're not pretending everything is fine. There is no illusion that everything is fine. Everything is clearly not fine. But we are allowing ourselves this moment of experiencing joy because that's allowed and we get to have it. God damn it.
Yes,
Yes.
our in dark times, our joy is radical.
Exactly.
Yes. Amen. Alrighty. Before we wrap up, we have some thank yous to do. But first, most importantly, I
do.
want to thank the incredible Kate Nix for joining us.
Thank you. This was fire lighting. You know, I recently made a joke that my hair goals are to be more like you. Now my heart goals are to be more like you as well.
I have had such a friend crush on you since we met at the Nerdlesque
stop it.
Festival
Stop
however many years
it.
ago. So
Stop it.
I am delighted to be back in your orbit again.
Yes,
friend.
for sure. I also will fully admit, when my partner and I started streaming, we were picking days to do it. And we were like, what days? And I was like, Never Tuesday. That's Lullaby Lounge. Even though I haven't watched, I know it's difficult to
Listen, I
commit
get it.
to screens.
That's
yeah.
why I have the replay. That's why I offer the seasons. Like, I'm debating
Yeah,
going back to
but-
VOD stuff, but like I offer the seasons as a whole when they're done, so that people can enjoy it at
can-
their
can-
leisure.
yeah,
like
for
if you
sure.
wanna have the experience, I don't want to ever pressure anybody to.
Yeah,
I don't want to
no,
bully
like-
people. You know.
No.
Yeah, like come if you feel it, you know, like. And if you don't, then that's totally cool. But like Tuesdays are days I will not touch because I'm like, no, that's Lullaby Lounge.
Thank you. I really
course.
appreciate that.
Yeah, I will. I mean, not like I'm gonna really compete what you're doing.
Listen.
I'm over here doing dumb accents to Fire Emblem characters.
Listen, that is 100% exactly the territory I am in. I am just so horrible at video games that you could not pay me $1 million to play them in front of a person. Literally, I am so.
Oh, same. That's why
I'm like,
why
how do
I
you
got
go
the.
forward? How did this?
I
Grandma's
can't.
back.
I can't.
How do you?
I can't.
Guys, Grandma's
I
back.
can't turn the camera and the person at
Where
the
do
same
you-
time. I'm just walking
just
in
walking-
circles.
I can't. I'm my gun. Is this a gun? How do I switch guns? Is this a shooting game?
I love you both so much.
We honestly I think we need to combine our forces and play a really
grandmas
hard
play
game
video
together.
games.
We just like someone hands
we just
us.
put on Octodad and we're just what the fuck are we doing?
We get someone to give us level 1000 Destiny characters and set us into and get us into the super elite when they make them all, everybody team up we somehow get into one of those and just miserably bomb every puzzle.
Just keep dying. Just falling off a thing you cannot actually fall off of. Somehow you have done it.
100%. That's
Do it.
me.
Brilliant.
Do it.
That's me.
Ugh, genius.
But before we ask you our final question and before our thank yous, I would like to give you an opportunity to tell people where they can find Lullaby Lounge, yourself on the internet, and the best place
Yeah.
to get your music.
Yeah, how do we join the Catriarchy?
So
Let's do it.
here's the thing. I've made this so easy.
So
Very easy. I've made it so easy. If you want to watch the Lullaby Lounge, you go to katenix.com/lounge. Okay? If you want to buy my music, you go to katenix.com/music.
What?
If you want to join my Patreon, you go to katenix.com/join.
What?
And if you want to follow me on social media, I am Kate Nix on Twitter and Instagram. Or you can join my Facebook group, which is under the name The Catriarchy of Kate Nix. Little swords crossed emoji to let you know that we're ready for battle. Because I don't do the Facebook page thing because Mark Zuckerberg hates artists and also
Yes.
democracy.
Yes.
And human life.
Yeah, 100%.
Yep.
100%. So we suffer through what we can. If you're into the Twitch thing and you're like, I know how to use the internet, go to twitch.tv/Kate Nix and follow me on there. I go live every Tuesday. Sometimes it's a replay of a show, depending on whether the season is on or off. This season ends, the last show of season 3 is October 27th. And I believe the first show of season 4 of Nature.
Yes, it's the best
is-
name ever.
Beautiful.
I might just end up calling it 4th of Nature and not season 4 of Nature because I think it's a bit much. Season 4 starts December 8th. So we're going to
Excellent.
go right into the holiday season and then New Year's stuff.
Beautiful.
But thankfully getting a break over Thanksgiving so I can have the beginning of my holidays to decide whether or not I'm going to make season 4 into a fully scripted Christmas play. I'm thinking about it. I'm so dumb.
It's okay. Do what you can. Just do not let our excited gasps
But the thing is, it would be
pressure
so
you in
good.
any way. It would
so
be very,
good.
very good.
My
but
husband has made it very clear to me, whenever you get to season that, there's always going to be one season that's completely different than the rest of them, right? That's true of any syndicated TV show. There's
Right.
one season that's just completely off the wall, and I feel like for season 4, that's the one where we go there's going to be a design change too and stuff just to sort of show the passing of time. I'm trying to evolve the seasons in a way that is visible but does not put me at a disadvantage to try and overcreate content and not actually take a break between seasons, because my tendency is I'm gonna make all new assets. Why? They're already there. I'm a dummy. But yeah, season 4 starts December 8th, and then we're going to go into Christmas stuff. What level of Christmas stuff we'll see. And I am also, this is the first time I'm saying it out loud, I'm saying it here because I'm trying to hold myself accountable. I am attempting to produce an EP. It might be a record over the winter.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a name yet. But I am going to record it entirely myself, probably mostly in my home. I feel like I've gotten better at production, and I can do that now to like an extent I couldn't before. I made Supernova Girl, and I was like, oh wait, I can produce music.
Oh man.
This sounds like a real song. So I'm gonna try and make a bunch of songs that I've recorded before and songs I haven't yet recorded into something that will be like another era after Sage and Silver Bullets. It's basically going to be like cyberpunk, cowboy, goth
Do
stuff.
it. Yes, love
moving
it.
into the next era. I'm saying
Mini-
it out loud
mini
so that I
snaps.
actually do it. It's going to be out by May. That's the plan.
Awesome. Well,
Well, you heard it here first.
exclusive on Screen Snark.
All
Three of-
12 of you.
Yeah, 12 is a generous number. We know that at least now Rob Starobin knows. A name I
Yes.
will never get right. I love you, Rob. Thank you for forgiving
Rob.
me.
Our beautiful Lorist.
I think if you say it correctly, then he's under your control. So it's
Yeah.
probably better that
It's
you
probably- yeah.
don't say it right.
Like the Beetlejuice thing, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so Rachel, let us thank
Yes.
our thank yous and then ask our guest our final question.
Oh, we have so much gratitude
So much
here on the
gratitude.
Screen Snark. Can you believe how much gratitude we have? First and foremost, I would love to thank John Presnell for the use of the song Aurora off the album Fair Game featuring Stefan Rembel.
I would like to thank our incredible artist extraordinaire, Katie Bug, who designed the logo for this very show. It is beautiful, just like you.
Yes, and I would like to thank the Certain Point of View Podcast Network for allowing us to always skirt by on the
bare minimum.
The bare, like, we don't work hard here. We work smart.
Yeah.
Or we don't work. I don't know. But the
Who's to
Certain
say?
Point of View Podcast Network is a beautiful network of just talented motherfuckers. Like, I cannot express how deeply and abundantly I love all of them. Go check out their shows, all of them. They're better than this one for sure in every regard. Go hang out with us on Discord. We're doing stuff there.
Yep, we have a permanent invite
It's
link to our
happening.
Discord server at
Yeah.
certainpov.com. As long
Yeah, we also have an email, and I can never remember its address.
screensnarkpod@gmail.com.
That's it. Just send us an email. Maybe we'll read them.
And we're also at screen_snark on Twitter. But yeah, if you could write us a review, that helps get us featured so more people can listen to this nonsense, our nonsense, with the intelligence of our guests.
Beautiful bullshit,
beautiful
that
bullshit.
we're always on.
And yes, with that, before we wrap up the
Yes.
show completely, we have a final question for our guest. Rachel, will you ask our guest our final question?
Matt, I would love nothing more in the whole world than to ask this question. Kate, in the wide world of storytelling, we have assembled amongst us these tropes, things that just happen. You know that they're shorthand for things, and they're reproductions of reproductions upon reproductions, but they can be useful. And I would like you to live in the imagination zone and say, which trope from television or movies would you select to instantly and magically become true in your life? That's the sound I love to hear on this show.
Big question.
The deep thought.
That
about
is a
it.
big question.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm the woman in that GIF where all the math symbols are floating around her head. Just like my mind palace is trying to build it. Man, what trope would I want to become true?
Matt, do you have a new trope that you'd like to instantly and magically be true in your life while we give Kate a chance to think?
I mean, I always like the trope, and while I don't own any animal friends or live with any animal friends currently, Sarah and I do want to get a dog at some point. I would love the trope of the animal best friend who helps the owner. Like, even though they can't speak English words and they always help out. Like, they get the mail, they make sure that they don't fall over, they like grab their stuff. Like, I want that helpful animal, since I'm such a mess, to be true in life and help me through life. You know,
Aw, I love that. I guess I don't. Mine.
Man, I have
trope-
mine is really
Okay,
mine is
yeah.
really painful, and it's
I'm
also
ready.
really
I'm excited.
accurate to our conversation about Venture Brothers,
okay.
which is like the father after some act of like duress, like something happens, and then he suddenly realizes that like what a shitty dad he was out of nowhere, and he's like, I'm gonna promise to be a better dad. That's the one I want to become true. Like where it's like all of a sudden the dad's like, wait a minute, my kid's great. I should never have made them feel like they were like, thanks thing that's the moral of this. Thanks bikini car wash, whatever. Like thank God the camp was saved. It's through my child's performance that's raised the money to save the camp that I can realize now that I don't know. I wish my success mattered to my parents. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I get it. I hear you. I get that.
It. Oh yeah, give me that good old Scrooge trope. That's a good trope. Yes. Fetch me the largest turkey you can find.
100%.
I'm 100% changed and it's sticking.
100%. Exactly.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well chosen. Kate Nix, thank you for taking the time. This has been an absolute delight. You are a pleasure of a human. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
I would like to take a moment to thank my incredible co-host, the handsome, the stunning, not just her stage name, the brilliant and the talented Rachel Quirky Shank.
Oh, and I would like to thank my generous and ever-expanding bright star on the horizon, DJ Matt Stormageddon, for constantly allowing me into his space to make noise at him.
My pleasure.
All sound and fury signifying nothing.
It's my favorite noise, I'll be honest.
Thank you. Aw, I love you, buddy.
I love you too. And we would like to thank you, loyal listeners. We love you. Thank you so much for listening. As I said earlier,
go
a like and
go vote.
Yes, go
vote.
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 And also wear a fucking mask when you do it if you go out. But thank you for listening. Again, go to certainpov.com to join our Discord. And again, if you could take just 5 minutes to rate and review on Apple Podcasts.
It doesn't even take 5 minutes. It takes like 2. Come on.
It helps us a big deal. But
please,
honestly, just you being there means the world to us. So thank you. You're amazing. And we will see you at the movies or on a couch somewhere. Bye-bye.
Aurora, 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 Aurora. Metal to magnet, she will be mine. Aurora.
Do you wake up every morning, roll over, and check your favorite social media feed, only finding that you wish you had never looked at all? Well, Inklings is here to lift those doldrums during the month of November. Inklings is a fictional short story podcast that will run daily on weekdays during the month of November from Dreamer Productions, the Dole Up in Dreams podcast, and Isolation Cast, Voices from Quarantine. Let your mind run to its deepest desires in the isolation of imagination. The stories will run 2 to 10 minutes, so take a break for yourself and enjoy Inklings, your daily short story indulgence. You can find Inkling by liking and subscribing the Dole Up in Dreams podcast, as well as Isolation Cast, Voices from Quarantine, wherever you find your favorite podcasts.
CPOV. CertainPOV.com.